Lexus IS200. So yeah, a lot of strong drivers. So yeah, it should be a really interesting track. This is a really cool track, very different to Moscow Raceway. Four outside zones and then a touch and go at the very end. You high speed entry onto a wall. So yeah, you'll just see the cars lining up now in a second underneath the RDS arch. So yeah, we're in Atron Raceway, which is 3 hours sort of Moscow. Big thing I've learned today is do not leave Moscow on a Saturday morning because everyone leaves Moscow. It's like mass exodus. So a 2.5 hour, 3 hour trip turned into a 5 hour trip. So yeah, that was fun getting here this morning. But yeah, pretty cool track. It's a rallycross track and go-kart track. And yeah, it's been specially modified for drifting. So I'm going to kick off the Black Monster Top 32 battles today. Monster Energy drivers representing with Arcadius Terry Gatz in the Nissan R34, Fail Crew Monster Energy car, and then Evgeny Losev in the Toyota Chaser, so another Fail Crew member. So the Fail Crew team are. So yeah, Fail Crew drivers looking pretty strong. Arcadius qualified in number 4 and Evgeny Loskev in number 8. So yeah, even though today is day 1, we had qualifying this morning, top 32 on now. Today it's like 5 p.m. local time. So yeah, even though it's the first day, it's quite a big crowd here. So nice little warm up to the main event tomorrow of top 16. So Alex Glavny will get the first buy run, and then we have Stefan Azarov. So yeah, sun's out now, so hopefully the track will dry out fast. Yeah, I think they had a press day on Thursday. Yesterday was open practice, and it's been mixed showers the last few days. So hopefully we get a dry track for this top 32 battles. Yeah, going back to Moscow Raceway, which was just 3 weeks ago, we had Gochechivshan taking out the win against Alex Galavnia from Ukraine after a controversial final where they both collided. But yeah, strong battles. We're coming from a high-speed Formula 1 circuit to a more technical rallycross circuit, and definitely one of my favourite layouts I've seen this season. But a really cool layout. So yeah, big blow to the Lukoil Racing team. Christoph Blues having to retire, big engine failure, and yeah, he's out for the remainder of the event. So yeah, not so easy to get parts for his specially made Mass Motorsports engine over here in Russia. Just waiting for Nikita Shikov to line up with Stefan Azarov. So it looks like Alex Glavny is just going to partake in his buy run first. Alex looking real strong now. He comes off qualifying first in Moscow, and now he comes here and does it first as well. So I think all that he's missing is a win now. So yeah, had a really good run. For, like I said, 4 outside zones. You've really got to be committed through corner 1 and 2. Big danger. We had 2 wrecks in the qualifying session. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more guys pushing it. So here we go. 840 horsepower, 2JZ powered, Nissan S13. This car is a rocket ship, and Alex is quite a committed driver. So yeah, I think a lot of drivers are going to be taking it easy because it is pretty greasy out there. So yeah, no need for Alex to really risk everything. So yeah, you can see just going to give you a quick explanation track. First outside zone, you run wide into the second outside zone, and you drop down, back on the gas. It brings you to the infield. You run and get a third outside clip, keep on the gas, back on, run a fourth outside zone, carry all the momentum and speed into the touch and go, and then power across the finish line. So that's a quick lap of your Atron Raceway here in Russia. Nice super slow-mo running the outside line. Jeez, gets super close even though this is just a by-run. Surprisingly, Golovnia and Saito were getting the closest to that wall, and you've really got to be committed to get the correct line leading off the entry, first outside zone, carry all that speed to push wide into that second outside zone. And of the 30 or so drivers, only about 8 or 10 drivers are getting that correctly. So we're going to go into our first battle now. Stefan Azarov and Nikita Shikev. Azarov qualified in 16th and Shikev in 17th. So quite evenly matched in qualifying pace. Alex, yeah, I thought he would be taking it very easy in practice, but yeah, still putting on a show for the fans. Here we go, Nikita Shikov to lead off on the right against Stefan Azarov. Nikita Shikov in the Toyota Racing GT86, Stefan Azarov in the Autoprofi Nissan S15, powered by a Mitsubishi Evo engine of all things, and quite a fast package. So yeah, I think drivers are getting a quick warm-up just to familiarise themselves with the conditions because yeah, I don't think they had wet practice today. So yeah, luckily we can see the track is already drying up, so this is kind of what happened in Moscow the last time, and the track was very patchy and went from dry to wet. You can see in the infield section it's very wet, and here on entry looks wet, and it dries up here in the midfield, and then from here on it seems to get dry and get wet again. So really tricky conditions. So Sushna, can you tell me any more about Stefan Azarov? How many years has he been drifting?
About 5 years.
5 years, and he's one of the top 10 in the Russian Drift Series.
Yes.
And Nikita is two-time champion?
Vice champion, so he was twice in the second place.
Oh, twice second place, yeah. Former Red Bull driver, Toyota.
He's a driver from 2008.
And
from the beginning.
They're both from Moscow.
Yes.
So would you say Moscow has the highest percentage of drifters in Russia?
I think no. More pilots from Siberia.
Yeah.
And Vladivostok.
Yeah, so this is the intriguing part about Russia, is how big the space is. So it took me 4 hours to fly here from Ireland last night, and to get to Krasnoyarsk, it's like 5-6 hours.
Yes.
So I'm actually closer to Moscow than they are in Siberia, which is pretty insane. And when you get to that location, Krasnoyarsk, you're only halfway into Russia, aren't you? So there's one team from Vladivostok, and it's 10-hour flight from here. and it's crazy how far it's away. So suddenly it's like flying to Ireland and then back from Ireland to Moscow, and you're still not there. Like, it's crazy. So yeah,
It's a
I'm
big
closer. I'm
country.
closer to Moscow than some Russians are.
Big country. So,
So
waiting
yeah.
for Nikita.
So Nikita, he's quite popular. One of the most followed drivers.
He has a lot of fans here.
So yeah, I think that's what the most surprising thing about the Russian Drift Series is the live viewership, the attendance at the events, and the few drivers that have like huge following, like Gocha and Arkadius. I did some stats; they're more followed than Sergei Sorokin and all the Formula One drivers, and the new Danny Kvyat. Who else is in Formula One?
From Russia, Sirotkin.
Yes, Sergei Sorokin and Danny Kvyat, which is pretty crazy. So here we go. Stefan Azarov, Nikita Shikov to line up first. Nikita to lead in from the right. Stefan Azarov to lead on. Azarov taking fairly easy. Nikita leaving a bit of a gap, so the driver with the least mistakes here is going to go through for sure. Azarov leading, not doing the qualifying line. Both drivers being a very scrappy run. Azarov running wide to get that qualifying line. Nikita Shikev struggling to keep up. Tries to dive in the last corner, but yeah, still a good amount of gap. Azarov drops a wheel, but nothing major. So Azarov does the kind of good entry qualifying line, nearly drops a wheel over on entry. He runs the wide line. They both miss the second outside zone. Azarov transitions into infield, gets the third outside zone. Nikita is trying to close up on him, but struggling. They're still maintaining a gap. Azarov is just pulling a bit of a gap. Nikita tries to dive in the last corner. They both hit the touch and go and go over the finish line. So yeah, like a slight advantage for Stefan, I would say. You can see Nikita wasn't that committed on entry, but I'm sure they're being super careful today with it being so tricky. So unfortunately the slow-mo doesn't look as impressive now with it being so wet. But yeah, when you see the smoke coming off the rear tires with the super slow-mo, it looks pretty cool. So Nikita Shikov really needs to lead off the line here and put a really impressive lead run and lay it down against Stefan Azarov. They're both similarly powered, both like 700 horsepower. Here we go. Nikita Shikov lead off. Azarov much closer to him. They both get a nice entry. Whoa, big mistake from Azarov. Huge mistake. Nikita doing the good lead run. Azarov correcting and straightening behind him. Really shallow line, missing the qualifying line now. This could be he's trying to dive in here, but kind of half straightening. Big straighten again, cuts the track, spins across the line. So yeah, that chase run was laden with mistakes, unfortunately. So let's look at the replay again. Bit of a sketchy entry from Nikita Shikov in the GT86. Was scrambling behind the wheels. Azarov puts like 2 wheels over the wide line, so he's going to get punished heavily for that. Nikita does the qualifying line, but Azarov is just cutting the track, not running the wide line that the judges want to see in the chase run. You have to run the qualifying line for the chase run. Nikita Shikov doing the proper qualifying run. Azarov again does a nice transition, but he hits a touch and go, but like totally cuts the track in. Big straight in here. So looking at the super slow-mo, you can see Azarov is way offline. There's nearly 3 wheels over the white line, so he's going to get punished heavily for that. And unfortunately, any advantage he had in the lead run is just going to be totally overturned by a really scrappy chase run. And Nikita not really making mistakes in the lead run. So I'd say that's a fairly convincing win for Nikita. So let's see, but we're not judges. Shushna, are you a judge?
No.
Not a judge, no. Evgeny Losev and Stefan Astapov off next. Evgeny Losev, the big angry looking guy from Siberia in his huge Toyota Chaser. So yeah, the judge is looking at the replay again. You can see it's a huge mistake straightened by Azarov. But Artisan was the entry very shaky by Nikita, but he barely put a half a wheel over the white line. Azarov nearly has the full car over the white line, so going to be very hard to see. I'm not so sure if the judges will be awarding him giving him a 0 for crossing the white line. Yeah, very, very scrappy chase run. Evgeny Losev from Irkutsk. How far is Irkutsk from? It's in Siberia. It's just far away.
It's far away. It's not far from Krasnoyarsk.
Yeah, Krasnoyarsk, how many hours again? 5 hours flight.
Yep.
And that is round 5. One of the stops is there in Siberia. And that's where Gocha is from, and that's where Arkadius is from. And Damir.
No results.
So yeah, the judge is deliberating on this chase run, analysing all of Stefan Azarov's mistakes. 2 big teams from Moscow. Nikita being the official Toyota driver for Russia, and the Push the Limit Toyota program they're running here. Viper tires, 800 horsepower, 2JZ power GT86, built by HEK Racing in Latvia. Here we go, Evgeny Losev. And judges split decision. What's it down to Mantas? Mantas gives it to Stefan Azarov. So yeah, maybe it was the shaky entry from Nikita really upset Stefan. Do you want to listen to see what... We're just listening to the... Just listening to the Russian translation here, what the guys are saying, what was the decision. Evgeny Losev to lead in. Nice early transition. Astapov, very shaky late entry. See, the speeds are way down. They're 20 kilometers down what they were in the dry. Astapov is just driving the course. Really just driving the course. And yeah, huge mistakes. It's probably a 0 for his chase run. Nice wide line from Losev on the power early. Runs to the second zone, and Astapov is straight lining. Must have a problem with the car. Nearly driving the course with no angle at all. So, yeah, unfortunately, that'll probably be a 0 to him. Car's just been checked over. I'm not sure if there's a problem with Andrei Astapov's car.
So you're talking about why Azarov take a win. He opened gas. Open or close? I don't know how to explain.
When he initiated.
Yes. So it was when it was a contact. It was a mistake of Nikita.
So yeah, just going back to the last run, I knew there was something on the entry when the guys were asking about when they looked for a replay of the first run. So the judges deemed that Nikita Shikev was very shaky on entry and he may have upset the chase driver. And yeah, they re-looked at that, and that's what upset. So that's what upset. Azarov chasing, and that's why his chase one was laden with mistakes. So just gonna wait for Shusna to listen in and hear what the.
It was hard to open a race with a wet track, so I can't understand what happens. No sound again.
You can't hear this.
Astap also doesn't understand what is happening, so it's like lottery.
So both of the drivers are a bit confused, but yeah,
They're both confused.
it's a bit of a lottery really what's happening today.
Отлично, Степан Азаров, Никита Жиков, Николай, тебе слово.
So our commentator Roman was explaining there.
They're just both didn't understand what happened.
Okay, it looks like Evgeny Losev is taking a bye run. It looks like Astapov had a problem with his car, so that will see him move straight through to the top 16 tomorrow. But it looks like the track is nearly 80% dry now already because he's smoking the tires up all the way to the end. So yeah, if there's any,
Yeah, it's better than
you listen to that.
listen here.
So next up we have Pesagov and Nabochenko. Pesagov from Moscow and Nabochenko in the Emil Tires Toyota Altaza. There we go. Yeah, pretty straightforward one. Evgeny Losev goes straight through to the top 16 tomorrow. Andrei Pesagov in the G-Drive Nissan R32. Against female driver Nabochenko in the Emil Oil Toyota Lexus 2JZ powered. So Andrei Pesagov, just give you a bit more introduction. Of course, they have to do the wide entry up against the wall. It's first zone against the wall, second zone against the wall, then transfer in here, outer zone 3 and 4. They're quite easy zones to get. Right out here to zone 4 and then transfer back into the touch and go. You can only get one wheel in if you want, not get the full car in, and then transfer across the finish line. But the main thing the judges are looking for is a smooth transition between outer zone 1 and outer zone 2. It's quite a tricky layout because once you can get that, you can carry the momentum and speed into outer zone 3 and 4. But yeah, some drivers were having quite a dramatic entry, having a flick onto the wall, so it's quite a spectacular track. It's quite a compact track, and it's good for all the fans. All the drivers waiting by the start line. The boss over there. Is that Gotcha with the big jacket on? Yeah.
Yes.
He's crossing the arse, guy. He's, even though it's May, so how much hotter does it get here? Do you actually get sun in Russia? Does it get warm any months here? Or do we get rain?
July.
July? Well, how hot does it get here?
25
Yeah?
degrees.
And no rain?
And no rain.
Yeah? But it is quite rainy here.
Have
and
you
quite,
been in Sochi last year?
yeah, it was
Oh,
extremely
it
hot.
was hot.
It was extremely warm. It was probably the most humid place I've been, like, cause it was like sweating all day long, and no one had cold water. And I was like, "Do you even have ice cubes in Asachi?" No, and it was like, we were drinking a bottle of water and it would like heat up even. Like it was so warm. And I remember they had ice creams, and all we ate was ice creams all day long. Like it was about the only cool thing down there. And the trick was to put the water bottles and hide them under the ice creams just to get them cool. There was like literally no cold water in Sachi.
And have you seen sea? Did you go?
No, I did not see. I seen the hotel, I seen the racetrack, and then I seen the airport. I went home. But I do intend to stay in Sachi for a day or two this year. Number 44, Ekaterina Nabachenko's up next from Ekaterinburg. Toyota Altezza 2JZ, 700 horsepower. And one of the biggest teams in Russia, the A-Mile Racing division. Just wondering where Andrei Pesagov is. They've both had to warm up, but does Andrei have a problem because he's not at the start line? As you can see, A-Mile is quite a big sponsor of the championship. You got Black Monster Energy. You got so I'm just wondering. So they've called a 5-minute timeout on Pesagov. So what?
It will be rain again tomorrow, so
Oh, let's not talk about the weather. It'll be
Yes.
positive. There will be no weather. So yeah, unfortunately, Pesagov has taken a 5-minute timeout, so you can see the 3 or 4 mechanics around the car now. So hopefully it's nothing too big. So yeah, oil companies seem to be the big thing in Russia. You've got Amol, you've got Lukoil, you've got G Drive. Who else do you have?
that's all. Fair crew, but it's
Oil companies.
yeah.
Suppose there is quite a bit of oil in Russia. R35 engine in that Nissan R32. So hopefully it's nothing too big. Looks like it's sorted.
Done.
So Andrei Pesagov back to the start line now. Alright, here we go. Hopefully it's more straightforward battle now. Andrei Pesagov to lead in against Nabachenko. Pesagov qualified 9th and Ekaterina Nabachenko qualified 24th. So, battle of the oil companies. G-Drive versus AIM-Oil. Both similarly horse.
Ekaterina was very excited about Andrei Pesegov, because he is one of the oldest pilot here in Russian Drift Series. So let's see.
So Andrei Peskov will lead in. He leads in on the right hand side, so he just transfer over here. Flick, nice early entry. Ekaterina kind of wavering behind. Peskov doing the proper qualifying line. Nabachenko struggling to keep up. Peskov doing a nice lead run. Doing the proper qualifying line that the judges want. Big straight and big mistake from Nabachenko chasing. And Peskov does a nice, drops the wheel, but it's beyond the finish line. Nice entry, straight into the outside zone. Nabachenko initiated late. Andrei Peskov runs wide, drops it into the second outside zone, runs the qualifying line, transfers into the infield, runs in. Nabachenko nearly straightens with a lot of less angle, doesn't get that third outside zone. Peskov transfers out, gets the fourth outside zone. And Nabachenko has a huge straighten again. Loss of angle, so I'm not sure is she finding it tricky in the dry and wet conditions. So just looking at the slow-mo angle, Peskov doing a really nice lead run. Could have been a bit closer to the wall, but yeah, I'm sure he just doesn't want to take risks in his top 32 run. And you can see the racing drone being super close to the guys here. I was actually speaking with the main filmographer of the championship, and he said the problem was the drone guy is nearly too good. He's nearly too fast, and he's like saying, hold back, stay at least 5 meters behind the car. So yeah, it's a slower track than Moscow, so yeah, I suppose the drone can nearly overtake the cars. So here we go. Ekaterina to lead in from the left. So you're going to see she's going to transfer over in front of Peskov, who's in the orange and black Nissan R32. Here we go. Nabachenko. Nice initiation. Both dropping wheels over the white line. Nabachenko, whoa, nearly throws it into spin. Yeah, throws it into spin, and that's the end of her day. Peskov does nice lead run, goes into all the qualifying boxes, and game, set and match for Andrei Peskov. We've got our next driver. You can just see they both made a mistake here. Yeah, big spin from Nabachenko, and that was the end of her day. Arkadiusz Terry Gratz is up next in his Nissan R34 Monster Energy powered car. Arkadiusz and Magomov Aramov. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Peskov goes through to the top 16. And then we got Evgeny Ruzhinikov and Sergei Sak is up next. So track's drying up now, so that probably might be one of the last few warm-up runs they can get.
And it's 5 minutes difference. No, it's really, it's 5-minute difference between. That's all. That's problem.
So Arkadiusz is going to lead up first. He's qualified fourth, and he's against Magomov Omarov on 29th. Here we go. Arcadius to lead in the fail crew Monster Energy powered Nissan R34. Nice early entry from Arcadius. Amarov trying to stay there. Transition to the infield, no mistakes from either drivers just yet. Arcadius running the nice wide qualifying line. Drops down, gets the fourth outside zone, transitions back out to the touch and go. Amarov trying to dive in and attack and gets a nice enough chase run. So yeah, pretty clean run from both drivers. Magomov Amarov had a late initiation here, but he tucks in beside Arcadius. Arcadius doing a nice wide line for outside zone 2. Drops into the infield, into outside zone 3. Magomov bobbling, makes a bit of a mistake. Arcadius runs out to outside zone 4, and then they both drop into the touch and go. Magomov and Toyota Alteza struggles to get the outside zone. So good lead run. Magomov Amarov made 2 or 3 mistakes while chasing, but yeah, he still held quite good proximity to the lead driver. So Arcadius cannot rest on this chase run. He's still going to need to put it down.
She can't tell anything because she's very, very, very impressed. And also the same as Shikov Azarov told about that track, so it's very hard to ride. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for safe also the same he told as Ekaterina about that track, so it's hard for pilots to run.
Is Ekaterina, she's a popular driver in Russia, is she?
She's a beautiful girl.
She seems to have a bit of a following, like. Okay, here we go. Magomov Amarov leads in. Nice early initiation. Arcadius Picheki on the chase run. Didn't get so deep. Magomov doing a nice lead run. Arcadius is going to need to close in on here and do something strong. Nice chase run now. He's getting closer. Whoa, Magomov drops a wheel. Doesn't really fit. Oh. So it looks like Magomov shut down. Arcadius had nowhere to go. So Arcadius could have been a bit closer. He could have been a bit wider in the initiation. Amarov does the wide line, does the outside zone 2, gets into outside zone 3. Arcadius not doing outside zone 3 here. Transitions, dives in behind Magomov. Could have been a bit closer. And yeah, Arcadius looking to avoid the lead driver's mistake. Arcadius dives in here. He's a bit too close. I don't know, he makes the first contact and then Amarov just drives across the finish line. So Arcadius is dropping a wheel here on entry, so he's already at a disadvantage. Amarov was in outside zone 2, but he dives in here. He was closer to Amarov than it was in the first run. He tries to chase him here. He's not in the outside zone, so Arcadius has his own mistakes chasing Amarov. See here as they transition now in. Be interested to see which way this goes, and Arcadius gets it. So yeah, they must have deemed. There must have been the mistake by Omarov in the final corner was enough to give the win to Arcadius.
Next one
is Sergei Sak and Evgeny Ruzhenikov.
It's like a battle of champions.
Sergei Sak being Belarus champion, and Evgeny Ryazan being two-time RDS champion. Sergei Sak in the BMW G Energy 2JZ powered 800 horsepower, and Yevgeny Ryazan in the Nissan S15 Gorilla Energy Toyota tires V8 supercharged, both about 800 horsepower, both champions and both quite well established drivers. Ryazan had problems in Moscow, and now he's back to make a point, so let's see what he's going to do and throw down against Sergei Sak. Sergei Sak he was pretty good in qualifying, but he qualified in 20th and Ryazan qualified in 13th, so not the best of qualifying runs from both of them, but it was tricky enough conditions. So
let's see.
So what's
he thought that track will be more wet, but it's not so wet, and it's easier to run. Arkady told that all around he saw Magomed on his
beside him, yeah, on his door.
Him, so.
Okay, right on to the next battle now. Here we go, Evgeny Ryazan to lead in. So yeah, track's nearly fully dry. We're nearly ready for some serious battles. So tell me, why is Arkady so famous in Russia? All the media work he does.
Yes, he makes a movie.
All the car testing.
Yes, about car testing.
Here we go, Evgeny Ryazan to lead in the Gorilla Energy Nissan S15. Sergei Sak leaving a bit of a gap. He's open here now, so trying to dive in here, but trying to dive in again. Ryazan not getting that outside zone 3 either. Ryazan running outside, getting the 4th outside zone. Sergei Sak missing that, trying to dive in, misses outside zone 4 and tries to dive in and hit the touch and go. So maybe a little too late his attack. He left a big gap on entry. They both had a nice entry. Both got the outside zone. You can see a bobble correction from Sergei Sak. He does not get that outside zone and does not run the qualifying line, cutting the track if anything. Ryazan running the nice qualifying line. Sergei Sak trying to reel him in here now. Ryazan running the nice qualifying line. Sergei Sak again not running that chase run. He kind of makes contact, then you can see him wavering behind the wheel of the car and tries to dive in. So if anything, it's a little too late for his attack. Ryazan just did a nice qualifying lead run, had no mistakes, and Sergei Sak tried to catch up, but using half the track, trying to cut to try and catch up. So G-Drive Energy is part of the Gazprom group, which is the biggest oil company in the country. Gazprom, yeah, which is a main F1 supporter, which is UEFA Champions League, which is probably one of the biggest companies out there. So G-Drive, Luka.
G-Drive is the very first year here in Russia. I know that Sergei Sak is working with G-Drive
in
for
Belarus,
3 years.
yeah. So here we go, Sergei Sak to lead in against Evgeny Ryazan. Sergei Sak really needs to launch a huge attack here to get back the advantage he's lost. Ryazan leaving a big gap open. Sak doing a nice lead qualifying line. Ryazan trying to reel him in now. Similar mistakes cutting the track, not running that nice qualifying line that the judges want to see. Sergasak running wide, gets that qualifying line. Uzhennikov is closer, but he's not running that qualifying line, and I'm sure the drivers don't want to see them cutting the track. Uzhennikov initiating later than Sergasak. Here he drops a wheel over the white line. Sergasak running the nice wide outside qualifying line. Uzhennikov using a lot less angle, trying to dive in, and he's maybe the pace of Sergei Sak's car, maybe it's slowing him down a bit. Sak running a really nice qualifying line, and Uzhennikov not running that nice chase qualifying line. He's trying to dive in and be closer. So really nice initiation from Sergei Sak. You can see Sergei Sak running a really nice wide line, gets on the handbrake to adjust the car, runs, gets that nice outside zone 2. Ryazan did not go anywhere near outside zone 2. Transitions back in. Ryazan should be diving in here, but it's a small attack. Very scrappy chase runs from both drivers, and very good lead runs from both drivers. So the judges here are trying to compare both the lead runs and chase runs. Sergei Sak making exact same mistakes as Ryazan on entry, wavering, running that shallow inside line, running a wheel over, and yeah, not much angle. Tries to dive in. Similar mistakes to the lead car, Ryazan, when he was chasing. Ryazan runs a nice wide line, and yeah, not getting close enough to like give himself a big advantage, always staying at least a car length or two behind. Tries to dive in here. If anything, this is nearly more impressive from Sergei Sak. Ryazan did not perform an attack like that on the last corner. So yeah, this will be an interesting one to see which way it goes. Or the Charzing qualified in 5th, a really good qualifying run. He's really enjoying this track. So just looking one more time from one of the judges, just down to Dimitri one more time. So yeah, that's probably about right. Very hard one to call between both drivers.
I don't sure, but I think pilots can change tire.
Alright, here we go.
Sergey talking about contact. It wasn't too hard, but still. They're both talking about a hit, but we wanted to show a best drift. It's also a problem with the tires, so it's hard to to stay in track. It's a little puddle before the wall.
So yeah, drivers seem pretty happy. They understand it's tricky conditions, and they're both happy they had a close battle. So that's pretty cool to see. Charzing up next from Hong Kong against, let's say, the youth of Russia, Nikita Fetisov.
Youngest pilot.
So yeah, no warm-ups here. This is run one. Charles Ng, nice lead run, nice wide run. Fedosov really shallow. Charles Ng drops in, gets the third outside zone, real nice. Transitions fast, gets the next outside zone 4. Fedosov really struggling to keep up. Fedosov fully laden with mistakes, cutting the track, a lot of less angle. Oh, hits him on the back. There's really no need for that when they're over the finish line. So yeah, Charles doing a really good qualifying line. Fedosov trying to catch up, using a lot less angle, not running the qualifying line. Runs wide, powers over the finish line. So yeah, for anyone tuning on Facebook, there's the high quality stream on YouTube on the Russian Drift series channel. Today is Top 32, so if you want to jump on there for the Russian translation, the local translation, or English on YouTube, that's the high quality feed. On Facebook it's English only, and it's more or less the low quality feed. So yeah, this championship is primarily all Russian, and yeah, English is just opening up to the extra fans out there. Charles Ng running that nice outside line. Fedosov will get punished heavily for dropping 2 wheels under that white line on entry. Charles running the nice wide qualifying line as the judges required. And Fedosov just struggling, really struggling to keep up. Here he cuts the track totally, misses the touch and go, nearly straightens up. They both go across the finish line. Then it's like he tried to attack and tapped Charles in the rear. So I can just see in the far off distance, they're both looking over both cars, see if the drone will go in. And yeah, hopefully there's not too much damage to Charles' car. So yeah, it seems to be pretty straight. It doesn't look like there's much damage, but it's obviously enough for them to warrant to look over. Oh, 5-minute clock is out.
Yeah. 5 minutes.
See Nina down there giving the orders.
There was some problems with electric.
Yeah, I think they're just looking under the car, see if there's any damage to rear suspension arms. The boss in giving all the orders in the background. Yeah, Charles doing, it's not like he shuts down. He's just shutting down because he's over the finish line, and Fedosov was just carrying way too much speed and then collided with him. So I don't think there's anything electrically wrong with the car. So yeah, I'm sure they're just checking for any arms bent. Yeah, it's like Fedosov just didn't realize this shutdown, and this is way over the finish line.
Yeah.
So it's way off the judge track, so it won't affect the judging, but it's affected Charles now. So yeah, it's about 18 degrees here today. Not too warm, not too cold. Bit of showers,
But
hopefully.
windy.
Windy, yeah. We're in Atron Raceway, which is south of Moscow, 3 hours. Yeah, it's round 2 of this the series. Next event is in Nizhny Novgorod,
Novgorod.
and that is a further. It's quite far south, isn't it?
It's about 300 kilometers from
Yeah.
Moscow.
So Nizhny Novgorod is next. It's like a really cool fast circuit. Then after that we go to
To Moscow again, but
Moscow.
on another track.
in Moscow. Yeah.
Yeah, we have 2 tracks in Moscow, so
Alright.
Moscow Raceway and
Oh,
Michkova.
ADM Raceway. Yeah.
Yep.
So that'll be a really cool one. I've never been there. And then we go to Krasnoyarsk for one event in September, and then Sochi for the final in October. So, and Sochi will be a lot cooler, but it'll still be warm there, won't it? In October, they still reckon
It's
plus
about,
20.
20.
So Sochi was the host of the Winter Olympics. Was it 2016?
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty cool. Same location as Sochi Formula One circuit. Same, it's the same. Some of the same famous fast corners they're using. So that's a cool circuit to. Krasnoyarsk then is the furthest from Moscow. It's yeah, it takes the trucks a week to get there really.
Yeah.
It's far away and it's 5 hours on a plane, so it's like sending all the cars to Ireland for one event and sending them all the way back.
It's quite
And last year they went to Vladivostok, which is so far eastern Russia that you're right beside Japan, and then they shipped the cars to Japan for the FIA event.
Yeah, it's also not far from China,
Yeah, so it's
like border with East.
so here we go. Fedosov is going to lead in now. Can he perform with no mistakes here? Charles Ing has a heavy advantage after Fedosov making many mistakes chasing. So this should be interesting to see. Charles staying back just in case. To see the entry speeds are now going up. Fedosov not really going on the qualifying line. Charles staying back, being a calculated driver, not diving in too deep. Gets in on him on the last corner and it's like really nice. No mistakes from Charles in the chase run. Fedosov not really doing the qualifying line. So just seeing on entry, but an early enough initiation. Charles could have been a bit deeper and outside his zone. Fedosov running that outside zone. 2, both drivers getting into in the transition to the infield, transition back out to outside zone 3. Fedosov doesn't get it, Charles does. Then they transition back in towards outside zone 4. Both drivers just about missing it. They hit the touch and go here before they go to the finish line. And yeah, Charles Ing maintaining a good gap with no, not really a messy chase run, so it's quite clear to the judges, I would like to think. Charles had a heavy advantage from the lead run, and he had a good chase run. Fedosov didn't make too many mistakes in the lead run, but he did not run the qualifying line, and he missed some outside zones. So comparing lead runs to lead runs, Charles had a better lead run and a better chase run. So I would like to think it's pretty obvious that Charles will go through to the top 16, but yeah, let's see. We are not judges.
Can you tell me something about Charles? For me, it's a new pilot, so I don't know.
Charles is, he drove in America. Yeah, all drivers going with Charles. Charles is an ex-Formula Drift driver, ex-top 10 Formula Drift driver. He is top 5 in D1 GP last year. He competed in the FIA Intercontinental Cup. He's not Hong Kong drift champion because they don't have a racetrack in Hong Kong. He's actually, I forgot, he was in Thailand last weekend. He has some races coming up in China. He's probably one of the busiest drift guys in the world. He's competing like 4 different drift championships, and he's doing touring cars as well. So he's like in a plane every weekend.
Pilot of the world.
Yeah, it's multiple drift programs across the world. Gocha doing quite a nice job. So Gotcha is against Stefan Savarnowski in the Toyota Supra. Savarnowski qualified 12th. Savarnowski, yeah. is against Gotcha, who qualified 21st. Savarini. I thought it was Savarini. I thought it was Savarinsky. No.
No. Svarinsky.
Savarini.
For me, it's also hard to pronounce his.
So his name is Anton. So Anton leads in. Wide initiation. Gotcha was a bit more shallow, didn't dive in and steep, but Gotcha is all over him now. First two outside zones quite clear. They both run an outside zone 3. Gotcha's staying with him now. Will he attack into the last two outside zones? Whoa, Gotcha nearly drops a wheel. Not the cleanest chase run. Savarini Anton pulling a gap. It's really tricky, and you can see the entry speeds are really trickling up now. They're up to 120 kilometers an hour entry speed. Anton, nice wide line. ENG could have been a bit deeper on entry. They both get the second outside zone 2 box. Transition to the infield. They both get the third inside zone. Transition now back to the infield where there's a fourth outside zone. They've got to really get back on the gas here, carry their momentum. Sarah Gotcha drops the wheel now, so he's going to lose a bit of momentum to Anton in the lead run. They both get to touch and go. From here on, Anton pulls a bit of a 2-car length over Gotcha over the finish line. So Gotcha really needs to pull something out of the bike, pull something really impressive here, because he's obviously trying to defend his championship lead. Yeah, you can see Gotcha's guys now are checking over the back right wheel where he dropped the wheel. Yeah, they're just emptying out all the rocks and dirt. Both drivers going back to the start line now.
It looks like it's too hot inside.
Gotcha the lead in this one now. He really needs to do something super impressive. He has got to throw down the lead run of his life because he's got to want to defend the championship. He's got the day off to a bad start with a bad qualifying run, and now he's meeting quite good guys early on, so it's the only problem when he qualifies down so low, but he's normally one to come out for the battles. So here we go. Gotcha Chivshan in the yellow S15 on the left against Anton Savarnin in the Toyota Supra on the right. Gotcha leading in now, foot to floor. Going to need to pull out something special. Watch the entry speeds here. Nice early entry off Gotcha. 125 mile an hour, and that's what Anton throws in a half spin, and that's enough. Gotcha leads in, gets the third outside zone. Back out to the fourth outside zone as well. Really clean lead run, and you can see, look, the leader entry speed was 12 kilometers an hour faster, so that's nearly the fastest entry of the day. He really put everything down on the line because he needed to do something really strong here. Anton tried to stay with him, and you can see Anton nearly throws away. He nearly goes in the wall, so he throws the car into the spin early. The Super probably doesn't have the mechanical traction of the Nissan S15, but yeah, that's what Gotcha can do. It's really so that's pretty clear one, and then Gotcha moves through to the top 16, so that'll be really interesting. Gotcha will go against Charles Ng in top 16. That's going to be really evenly matched. Arkady and Evgeny Ruzhenkov was on the other top 16. Losov and Andrei Pesagov, Glavnia and Stefan. Oh no, we have to do the rerun of Stefan Azarov, Nikita Shikov. So yeah, really nice battles in top 16 tomorrow. That's going to be really interesting. So we're now on to Damer. Is going to do his bye run. He qualified number 2. He ended up in 3rd in Moscow Raceway. So he has quite a straightforward run here. So halfway.
Second, Alteza. So on his first Alteza, now running Ekaterina Naboychenko.
All right. And they're a couple as well. Just to confirm. How cute, isn't it? Both of them in Altezas. So she crashes the car, he rebuilds the car for him. Luckily he's the better driver, like. There would be problems if she was. Nice lead run, gets out to the outside zone. Doing a really nice qualifying line. Transfers back in. Putting on a show for the driver, the fans here, and nearly sends it into a spin. But one thing, at least she can never say the car is bad because his car is doing really good. Like, she can never blame the car because he's finishing 2nd and 3rd.
It's like in Moscow when they are. Damir was running with Ekaterina.
Oh, were they battling together? Were they? Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, well, I didn't know there were a couple at the time. Terry Gaston going back to the pits. He will be relieved to get back into the top 16 after having a totally disastrous round 1 event where he had mechanical problems. He really needs to come back with a win and to get back his championship race on track. Championship title defense on track.
Does anybody knows about Russian drift series in Europe?
Yeah, I think a lot of the guys know about Gotcha and Arcadius from doing so well in the FIA event. They know how big the events are. They know it's probably the most attended spectator-wise drift events in the world. Just looking at Moscow, that's probably double the capacity of any drift event I've been in the world. The live attendance, the live viewership is crazy. It's double the viewership of any drift series I have seen, the Russian speaking. But yeah, it's like such a big country, but I think Russia's had a good stepping stone with drifting because it's quite new to motorsport, unlike Europe where we would have rally and circuit racing quite well established before drifting turned up 10 years ago. So 10, 15 years ago. So I think Russian drifting has been very accessible to Russian people, and Russian fans embrace it and like it. Whereas I think in England or Ireland or mainland Europe, they have so many other motorsports to look at. They have Formula One, they have World Rally cars, they have touring cars, they have rallycross, they have motocross. There's so many other motorsports. So he's just very convenient that he has a problem when his run just comes up now. He's a one-man band mechanic. He's mechanic, driver, tire changer.
All in one.
Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, he just pulled out the strap. Power steering. Yeah, so Glebshab and Tetsuya Hibino up next. You see Hibino lining up in the start line. He's going to have a bit of a wait for himself now. So Glebshab in the Toyota Chaser qualified in 15th, and Tetsuya Hibino qualified in 18th. Hibino not having the most clearest run in the RDS Championship. He qualified in the top 32 in Moscow and had some issues and problems. So I think he's still adjusting to the fresh auto Toyota Supra. So Fresh Auto is like the biggest parts tuning company in Moscow. It's pretty big.
Maybe, but I won't lie. Maybe yes.
So after this we have
Fedor Dzierżyc and
Kurubin.
Ivan Kurendin from St. Petersburg.
Fedor Vorobyev, do you know if his car is fixed?
Yes.
It is fixed after that huge crash. Two minutes 40 left on the timeout, so let's see if he can get this fixed. He does not have that much time to put on that belt, so he might just have no power steering for his battle.
Mechanics from
There's lots of
forward after.
there's lots of pointing and not much doing.
So
He's retiring.
yeah.
Okay, we've Nissan Patrol lining up again.
I think Hibino. Stayed without partner. 1 minute left.
Yeah, so he's retiring. So we have
Hibino on top 16.
so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more battles left.
And one more time.
So yeah, we've got about 6 battles left. So let's see Tetsuya Hibino. Nice flick, nice early entry. So he's just having a bit of fun, warming up for his celebrating his run into top 16 tomorrow. Nice clean lead run, gets all the outside zones.
Sometimes it helps. Try to take a Tron. It's working. I don't know where it's.
So Hibino, yeah, just getting his final run out of the way.
his favorite track. And he also says that he has some problem with electricity. So he said that he tried to fix everything before next stage.
Ну, то есть она не будет просто так стоять в стадии в сервис-парке?
Нет, как только будет понимание, что это конкурентный автомобиль, он действительно готов, потому что машина только-только свежесобранная. И такая,
Отлично, пожелаем удачи. Андрей Станлов.
So one more time with Stepan Azarov. And Nikita he's just going back. Here's one more time. Here. One more time. Azarov. Ivan Kurenbin and Fedor Jezits lane.
So we got I cannot pronounce this.
Fedor Jezits.
Fedor against Kurbin. So Fedor is in the S15, the CIA Army. Nice lead run, runs a wide line, drops down, goes back to inside circuit, gets it outside zone 3 and 4 quite nice. Transitions back out to outside zone 4 and goes across the line. Ivan Kurbin getting a problem there, not so sure what happened. So yeah, Fedor doing a nice outside lead run, runs wide right up to the wall. Ivan Kurbin struggling to hold proximity in a Mazda RX-7. Just really shallow angle, cutting the track, not running the wide line. Here he has a massive straight mistake and bobble. Fedor runs wide line, gets back on the gas and powers over the finish line. And Ivan has no answer.
Actually, Ivan is a champion of Russian Drift Series West, so I don't know what is it.
So how many Russian Drift Series is there? There's RDS West, East, North.
North and South.
Sorry. And South is near what the whole...
Krasnodar, Voronezh, it's...
And is an RDS East? Like Vladivostok? Or?
Yes.
So 3 regional championships and then RDS-GP championship.
And it's like... yeah, so one have some problems with his car. So
So Sushna is going to give you the translation here of the interviews.
He tried to do the best he could, so he, he's sorry about his mistakes. He, he made 150 practice tries, so it's quite.
High speed.
Yeah.
Папу вы когда-нибудь увидели в РДС Гран-при, может быть, в младших сериях?
And he asking about his dad because he saw the pilot.
Что с основным автомобилем? Я имею в виду Nissan Silvia S15.
And they are waiting for Silva S15 at his main car. So
На самом деле около 60. Слушай, ну и у всех, конечно же, зрителей, в том числе начинающих дрифтеров, возникает вопрос, каким образом ты попал в дрифт еще в 17 лет? После чего это случилось? Чья это была инициатива? И, кстати, мало кто знает, что ты являешься чемпионом Южного федерального округа по карту.
he's champion of karting in South. So
He already has a lot of motorsport experience already.
yes. And once he saw a drift, so he decided to start drifting.
So yeah, instead of going like Sergei Sorokin to F1, he went drifting.
Yes.
So
Я буду на том, я буду благодарить всего Вселенной и поднимусь на трубу.
He's waiting for his first place
yeah,
here in Russian Drift Series.
and he's from Krasnodar.
Yeah. He has all chance.
Они едут, за ним максимально комфортно, постоят. Ну, замочил, попытался проехать близко. Короче, там результат посмотрите.
Подошел здесь представитель Чарльз, тебя и спросил, что это было?
Charles asked
Скажи да,
what's happened.
И это меня немного эмоционально подстегивает. И вот результат первого трека.
Ну что ж, отлично,
So-
друзья. Пожелаем Никите Фетисову, самому молодому пилоту Гран-при. Удачи.
Really, he think he has all chances to become a good pilot.
So yeah, he went out in top 32 against Charles Ng.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's quite hard.
yeah, so he'll need to
Good
come back.
experience for him.
He'll need to come back strong in the next run, but then he cannot say much because Charles Ng is probably one of the best drivers in the championship in the world at the moment. So
It's quite hard. But waiting for one. Fedor always come to track with his parents, his mom and dad. So the main spotter for Fedor is his dad.
Okay, here we go. Kurabin. He's back in the car, so let's see if he can get it back to the start line. Two minutes 28, so yeah, he did not have a great chase run, had lots of mistakes, so that kind of goes back to, was there a mechanical problem, electrical problem that meant he couldn't chase Fedor in the Psy Army S15. So tell me a bit more about CIAY. It's a clothing company from St. Petersburg. They're now in Moscow. They make all the RDS merchandise.
Yes.
It's really cool branding.
3 years.
They were the Fail Crew merchandise partners for a long time. Some of the really coolest clothing I've seen. And yeah, they made Fail Crew pretty famous.
That's-
I know, would you say people are buying Psy stuff all over Russia? It's quite popular.
They are sending all over the world, so if you want to, you can buy some stuff.
And they have a shop in Moscow and St. Petersburg.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm hoping to go to St. Petersburg in July, so I'm gonna go by his shop, like.
You
So-
should.
I haven't been in St. Petersburg since 2016. I went to check out the Slava Kalashnikov's workshop. It's pretty cool.
It's a fail crew also. He
Yeah.
was,
So that was my brief experience of St. Petersburg. So Ivan Kurban does not have much time left. He's got a minute left, so.
so
Yeah, he does not have much time to get back to the start line now. It could be a straight win
for further.
to Fedor if he doesn't get back to the start line pretty soon. So I can see the drone flying over just to see what's happening over.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like he's not going to make it, but it looks like Fedor Vorobev's Lada is ready in the background after its huge crash. Yeah, you can see his Mazda RX-7 is still not ready and the guys are still working on it, so looks like it was not enough time and we're going to have to go on to the next battle. So yeah, Fedor is just going to do his buy run now. He's been doing some really impressive entries in qualifying. Nice smooth run. You've got to push wide, get to the second outside zone, then drop in. Transition back to infield, get the third outside zone. Transition back out to the fourth outside zone. Hit a touch and go here, then power over the finish line. So yeah, you can see Fedor. I think Fedor Vorobyev is just getting a quick run in the car because he had such a huge wreck in qualifying. The back of the car was more or less pushed in, and so maybe he's getting a quick. So yeah, it doesn't look like there's much wrong with the car. And he is going against Nikulin.
Nikulin Ivan.
Ivan Nikulin. Is it?
Ivan Nikulin.
So yeah, two quite solid drivers. Fedor Vorobyev qualified in 10th and Nikulin qualified in 23rd.
He has his own number, 23, and
Maybe it's destiny, yeah. Qualified 23rd, number 23.
that's Fedor's daddy.
He said he's quite young. He's from
He's
Moscow.
about 25.
So he's another up-and-coming driver of the Russian Drift Championship. Was he in Moscow Raceway?
No,
Alright.
he was, but he didn't
Compete.
compete. Yeah. No matter what, guys are friends. It's always nice to see.
Walking selfie.
Yeah.
Okay, so Fedor Vorobyev is going to be leading in as he qualified 10th. He's the higher qualifier this pair. And yeah, after his big crash, I was hoping they'd show it in the previews, but yeah, impressive to even get the car back on track, and it looks like it hasn't really been a problem to him. Here we go. Fedor Vorobyev in this world famous 2JZ powered Lada against Kurbin or Nikulin in this Nissan S14 with V8. Fedor doing a really nice lead run, drops it down into second outside zone, running the proper qualifying line as deemed by the judges. Nikulin trying to stay close, but really using a lot of angle and shallowing up, like, and not really following on that chase on that qualifying line as the judges wanted. So clean lead run from the Fedor Vorobyev. Nice early initiation. Nikulin struggling to keep up. Drops 2 to 3 wheels over that white line, so that's going to be a heavy deduction. Tries to cut the corner here. Transitions, not much angle. Misses outside zone 3. Not much angle at all. Nearly driving. Fedor Vorobyev doing a really nice job out front. Drops over outside zone 4. Right out to the last touch and go. And drives over the finish line. So strong lead run from Fedor Vorobyev, and to be not that far off the wall after having his huge wreck this morning is impressive. So Nikulin in the Nissan S14 will lead in against. So just pass out to Sushini for the translation.
Иван, вопрос к тебе. Что там с тачкой?
He wants to ride to church because he don't understand what's wrong. She doesn't want to show a drift.
Слушай, подожди, Федор, тут очень важный момент. А что до этого было? Почему мы только на этом этапе гонки? И в Западе, например, не появился, и на GP на первом этапе были проблемы. Все просто, но техника такая техника. Друзья, еще раз, Иван Куренкин и неподражаемый друзья же.
Everything is alright, but she doesn't work.
Everything's okay, but his car just doesn't work.
Oh, that's why he told
Lost.
that he should go to church. It's not his car, it's a rent car, so I think Ivan can show better drift.
And has this guy been drifting many years?
I don't know, actually.
So yeah, Nikulin pulling in, not so sure what's going on. Another 5-minute timeout. And here's Saito's car firing up in the background. He's up next against Merkel. So
his engine.
So Ivan Nikulin in with another problem. Looks like it's maybe throwing a belt off. So yeah, one of the pulleys is off. So to get this done in this timeline, gonna be tricky. Let's see if the Russian mechanics are that good.
Also, he was on the first stage in Moscow Raceway, but without car. He helped to Sergei Sak.
2 minutes 38 left. Can he get it done in time? Saito up next. It's going to be really impressive. Really want to see more of this car. I think secretly he could do really well if he can hold his head together in the battles, because normally that's where he self-destructs and drives into people, and usually it's the end of his day. So Gotch is looking really strong again in the battles. Charles Ing's looking strong. Arkadius is looking strong. Evgeny Losev is looking strong. Golovny is looking strong. The first side of the bracket looks very like a lot of really good drivers, but then Saito on the other side has a fairly easy run to the top 8 before he meets Damer. So really interesting to see what way this one pans out.
Alright, he's back.
So Ivan Nikulin just in time now. How is he going to do against Fedor Vorobev? Here we go. Ivan Kurbin to lead off the line. Fedor Vorobev to chase in the ladder. Nice early entry from both drivers. Nice. Ivan doing a really clean, nice lead run. Fedor staying behind, playing a safe game. Maybe he knows he has a big advantage. Pulls back in, bit of a dive from the ladder, but safe enough chase run. So yeah, early initiation by the lead car. The ladder wasn't far behind. It left a bit of a gap to chase maybe. I think he knows that Nissan SF14 is slower. Transitions back into the infield. Keeps on the power. Doesn't really dive down at him and yet. Powers all the way out to on 4. And then over the finish line. So yeah, some cars warming up in the background. You hear Daigo Saito like ripping through the course now. Dodge NASCAR V8 powered HKS Altezza. That is the original HKS Altezza that was built a number of years ago. And probably the sweetest sounding V8 I've ever heard. It sounds so good.
You like it?
I even googled how much those engines cost already from America. Really nice.
It's so loud.
Yeah, but loud's good. You wake up everyone. You probably will not be allowed to enter any track in Europe, but it sounds cool. At least you had the coolest car that couldn't go on track. So this is Roman. Let's see if Roman, the pit lane reporter, has anything to say to the guys. Yeah, so it's Battle of the Feathers tomorrow. Two feathers in
feathers.
top 16. Okay, now I'm wide awake. Daigo Saito. This car, I've been waiting to see it all day. Only seen 2 qualifying runs today, and it rips. He's against quite the underdog. Launched about 10 car gap. Just listen to this car, sounds incredible. Gets the first outside zone, transitions back into the inside zone. Let's rip. Back to the outside zone 4. He's not even pushing the car that much because he knows that he has that much pace in it. Transitions over the finish line. There's obviously a problem with Merkel's car. He just hasn't been able to get it into gear. And his car is not even driving. So big mechanical problem there.
No, he can't leave the track.
Yeah, really nice. He's running that qualifying line. Still gets close enough to the wall. Transitions back in. Gets a nice outside zone 3. Carries enough speed to come back into outside zone 4. Rips back out to the touch and go and powers across the finish line. So yeah, really solid run, but yeah, seems like Merkel has maybe another mechanical problem, so let's see how this goes. Just seeing the super slow-mo. He's like a nice gap out to the outside. Doesn't go super wide because I think he already knows he can. So just go into the pit lane, Roman reports, and see what Sushna has to say in our translation.
Вопрос. Иван, что это было с машиной? Расскажи всем, пожалуйста.
Расскажу, как мы стояли, я же в машину ремень слетал постоянно. Вроде мы сейчас эту проблему решили, когда поехал вторым сзади, у меня слетел и мочь упал. То есть не рулю. Я уже как мог, короче, я вторым ехал. А потом мы приехали.
So yeah, it was a problem with belt, so
В общем, удалось провести заезд в номер, так что
he just can't
да, он не слетел.
Слушай, ну,
do the best.
а в целом вообще тебе автомобиль, вот этот конкретно этот арендный автомобиль, кстати, ты можешь поблагодарить его владельца за то, что он сделал.
He saying thank you for
Как ты
owner,
принял
owner of
конфликт с этим V8?
this car.
Вопрос к тебе, господин Парамин. Работает ли паровод?
And he asking about the wall.
Спасибо большое организаторам за то, что поставили. Наверное, если бы его не было, то автомобиль не
He is
удалось
very
бы
glad to stay
настроить
safe
его после этого крэша.
after
Просто
the
вручительный по
kiss the wall.
визуальным эффектам, но настроить. В
Yeah.
целом,
Yeah.
есть у нас небольшие вопросики. Я сейчас проехался, это и понял, но в целом, конечно, хочу выразить огромное спасибо моим болельщикам, моей команде, в первую очередь.
He is telling thank you
Мы
for
последние трое суток практически без
everybody, for family,
разбил стенку, но при этом
partners.
да, бабушка, дедушка, в Англии. В общем, максимально все жирно, мы готовы ехать на победу, готовы бороться.
He is ready to take first place.
Друзья,
So let's
Петр
see.
Воробьев, Никулин, Николай Телеслов.
I think further have our chances to get some.
So yeah, we're just returning back to the Saito Merkel, and look at this. Saito's just gonna do one for the fans. Nice wide initiation. Gets on the gas. He's not really going into the zones too far, but he's pouring on loads of angle, loads of smoke, and just burning those tires clean off. He's just playing, but yeah. So yeah, pretty clean one. Saito goes through to the top 16 tomorrow. So now we have Dmitry Nagula and Denis Mihal up next. Oh, he gets his car ready. Nikulin gets his car ready, but it's a little too late now. So Dmitry Nagula, Belarus champion, against Denis Mihal. Fedorov against Vladimir. Grigorov against
Katerina Sidich. One more girl.
Ekaterina.
Yeah. Both. Two Catherines.
Is there two Katerinas?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Katerina
Nabochenko, yeah.
and Ekaterina Sidich.
So Dmitry Nagula in the left in the Nissan S13. And not sure why the guy's getting a quick warm up here. And Denis Mihal in a fresh auto BMW E46. Both very clean cars. So yeah, let's hope we have a fair battle now. Track is completely dry now compared to earlier. The first few battles were under mixed conditions. So hopefully now we have a clean last few battles. It's 7 p.m. local time here in Atron Raceway. We're 3 hours south of Moscow, and the weather's quite good this evening. No rain, luckily. And yeah, we had qualifying early today, top 32. So just looking at the timetable for tomorrow, there's practice from 10:30 to 12, break, and then opening ceremony 1 to 2. And then top 16 kicks off at 2:30 local time. So we are 2 hours European GMT time. So back in Europe, it's going to be 12:30 kickoff for top 16. Central European time, it'll be 1:30 kickoff for top 16. And then right through to the end, goes through till 5 o'clock. We have a break. Top 16 runs for 2 hours, then the top 8 runs from 5 p.m. onwards. So tomorrow's a late enough day as well also. So Dmitry Nagula from Belarus, Nissan 200SX 2JZ, 700 horsepower. Denis Mihal in the fresh auto, BMW from Moscow, BMW E46. V8, another 700 horsepower. So Dmitry Nagula in the blue S13, white blue S13 leads in. Nice early entry. They both get the outside the zone 1. Nagula runs wide, gets the outside zone 2. Back on the gas. Both drivers are attacking now. Dmitry Nagula lead car gets outside zone 3, and Denis Mihal correcting, making a few mistakes in the chase drive. Dmitry Nagula runs a nice outside line, but Denis Mihal trying to nearly cut the course, trying to keep up. Entry speed about 126 kilometers an hour, which is kind of right for their speeds at the moment. Most of the pro drivers are doing about 126 to 135. Nagula doing a nice qualifying lead run, and then Denis Mihal kind of corrects up. He checks up, doesn't run the wide line, sacrifices a lot of angle just here. Tucks in, tries to dive in here, the corrects bobbles, hits the curb, misses the outside zone here. He's losing proximity, and he kind of nearly cuts the track to dive in and gain proximity here. Has to check up, and yeah, was a quite close run, but misses a lot of the outside zone, so depends how the judges will deem that. Quite a nice lead run from Dmitry Nagula. So Dennis Mihal to lead in this time in the fresh auto BMW E46. Lights go greens. Dennis Mihal to lead off in the BMW E46. And Dimitri Nagula in the Nissan S13 to chase. Nice early entry with Dennis Mihal. He needs to put down a strong run against Dimitri Nagula to get back that advantage he lost in the first run. Nice lead run. Nagula isn't far behind. Nagula is staying in, misses the fourth outside clipping zone, misses touch and go. Dimitri Nagula runs wide, drops a wheel. Quite nice lead run. Dennis Mihal does quite a similar entry speed to Nagula on his entry speed of the both lead runs. Dennis Mihal runs the wide line. Nagula doesn't really run as close and sacrifices his angle, doesn't get the outside zones. The chase driver misses outside zone 3 here. Dennis Mihal back on the power, runs the outside zone 4. Nagula tried to check up, misses outside zone 4, misses the touch and go. So yeah, similar driving from both drivers. Nagula missed the last few outside clips, and so did both chase drivers. Yeah, one more time. So yeah, it was similar mistakes from both drivers. So yeah, I can agree with that result. So Vladimir Shivshan now against Fedorov. Ilya Fedorov in the A-Mile Nissan S14. This is the spare car of A-Mile tires, so he actually drove this in Tokyo last year at the FI event, so he's pretty used to it already.
And how was he?
He got in top 16, I think. He qualified top 10, I think. He did pretty good. So, wasn't best of the Russians, but did pretty good. I suppose he has to be careful with this car. This is Dmitry Dobrovsky's car, personal car. Yeah, so the boss of A-Mile's car. So you can't really crash it. Yeah, it's a super clean build. Gotcha, Chivshan's team in Forward Auto in Krasnoyarsk built the car. Daigo Saito has driven this car. I think Charles Singh hasn't driven this car. Odi Bakshis has driven this car. Neto Sanaga has driven this car. So a good few different guest drivers has driven this car. And it's super clean. So yeah, so this is quite funny. They're both similar cars. They're both Nissan S14s with Rocket Bunny boss kits. They both have the exact same engine setups, and they're both built in the exact same garage. So
Let's see.
So Ilya should have the advantage because he qualified number 6 and Vladimir Chivshan qualified 27th. So it will be quite cool pictures from this battle. So here, Ilya leads off. Vladimir leaves him a gap bit. Nice early entry from Ilya Fedorov. Foot to floor, runs that wide line. Vladimir Chivshan struggling to keep up. Ilya runs a nice qualifying line. Runs out to outside zone 4, really nice. Back out to touch and go. Vladimir Chivshan trying to dive in and catch up, but yeah, little too late to answer on this battle. So yeah, Vladimir Chivshan automatically loses a lot of proximity on the first initiation. 2-3 car lengths behind, tries to dive in here, misses outside zone 3. Ilya Fedorov in the lead position, back on the gas, hard. Vladimir Chivshan totally missing the qualifying line here as well. So yeah, quite a strong lead run from Ilya Fedorov. Just see this now, the super slow-mo, how deep he gets into outside zone 2. And yeah, I think he's being careful. He doesn't really want to put this car on the wall, or he may lose his job on Monday. So he wouldn't want to smash up the boss's car.
Thirteen, 14.
Oh, I never
Same
noticed.
cars.
Yeah.
It's a lot of magic today.
So yeah,
Со мной пилот и глава
going to Roman in the pits and Shushna. Tell us what's going on.
Да что рассказывать, еще будем ехать второй раз, парни, поэтому болтать нет смысла, надели багажник, кто кого и все.
He wants to show. He won't talk. He just wants to show one more time. Best he do. Best he can.
Да нет, это наш главный, это, в принципе, плохой друг, или как сказать, белорусский наш. Во-первых, топ-32 я ему проиграл в Москве там РВ, а потом Аргентина. Непонятно причина.
He was on Moscow Raceway also. They was a partner on Moscow Raceway. He lost.
Вот тренируемся, как говорится, на этапе, все будет хорошо.
Знаешь, Денис, хочется и другое сказать, что чувствуется мастерство и опыт. Так что тебе всем желаем удачи. Николай, тебе слово.
So Vladimir Chivshan the lead off this time now. Let's see if Ilya has any answer. Vladimir, nice early entry, both very similar entry into the outside zone 1. Vladimir gets deep into outside zone 2, transition back into infield. Ilya doing a nice job of the chase run. Loses a lot of proximity and gap here now. Not that clean. And yeah, he shuts it down over the finish line. I don't know what the judges. It's a nice early initiation for both drivers. Vladimir running the outside line. Ilya does not drop into the outside zone like Vladimir, so dive in here to outside zone 3. Both transition well. Ilya puts on an attack here. He carries a lot of speed. Vladimir runs really wide. Ilya has to check up so he doesn't collide with him. And then Ilya runs super wide here. Misses outside zone 4. Transfers over. And tries to dive in on the door of Vladimir. So let's see what the judges have to say about that one. And Ilya Fedorov gets the win. So we have an all AIM oil battle of Saito and Fedorov in top 16 tomorrow.
Also, always.
I suppose when you have 4 AIM oil cars, some of them are going to meet pretty.
Екатерина Nabochenko, also from Remote.
Yeah.
She's
So this is Gregorov.
Evgeny Grigoriev.
Evgeny Grigorov from Moscow, E46, LS V8. You do like V8s in Russia, 550 horsepower, and he's on Westlake tires. And then we have Ekaterina in Nissan S15, 2JZ powered, and it's 700 horsepower. But she is from Vladivostok, which is the furthest away from here. 10 hours flying.
Yeah.
So how long do you think it takes to get our car here from Vladivostok?
I don't know.
A long time.
A long time.
Like 2-3 weeks in a truck.
Yeah.
Crazy.
She was working in emergency. She's like medical.
Oh man.
She's a doctor.
Grigoriev.
Grigoriev.
Grigoriev versus Ekaterina. So let's see which way this pans out. The S15 is pulled in the pits, bonnet is up. Let's hope it's not a big problem.
It's again some problem with the car of Ekaterina. They're too different.
Alright, here we go. Roman's going to interview them.
Ну что, Николай говорит, мы в кадре, можно работать, и, собственно, вот они здесь парни, которые едут на умопомрачительно выглядящих, просто шикарных Rocket Bunny.
Roman told that it's two beautiful cars.
Ксюха, а что стоит в автомобиле? Ну ты, соловей, ты заливаешь, ты сладко. Моя машина сломалась.
His car was broken, so
Ну, это понятно. Так ты
Dmitry gave him his car. So its problem is engine.
Он пилот, кстати, команды Forward Авто. Вов, сложно было ехать с похожим автомобилем?
Нет, с Ильей мы, во-первых, часто встречаемся в парных поездках. Я знаю,
It wasn't too hard
дорог. И ехать за ним очень спокойно.
to have a race with.
Жалко Атрон, что удалось показать красивейший дрифт.
He wanted to show a good read, but something was wrong. It's like, you know, Russians, like, if you don't know what to say, something was wrong.
Спасибо большое. Николай, тебе слово. А рядом со мной Илья Федоров, пилот команды iPhone Racing.
Do you know something about Fyodor?
Ekaterina. I know the car was built. She has a car in America as well that Matt Field has. Yeah, S15 V8, which Gotcha drove at Formula Drift 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah, and that car is still in America, from what I understand. Here we have Grigoriev against Ekaterina. Nice late entry. Ekaterina still staying quite close to her. Nice proximity. They transition into the infield. Ekaterina trying to attack. Grigoriev pulling out a bit of a gap. Whoa! Can she hold this together? Super nice chase run. It was nearly collision. And she was faster on the chase run as well. She's 130 kilometers an hour compared to his 120. So this was pretty nice, but she still ran outside the zone as well. Pretty close, checked up, then backed in, and then tried to dive in here. I thought she was going to over-rotate, waits, dives in here a small bit, and then waits for the last corner here. And he throws on too much angle nearly as well. It's like nearly like he's trying to throw her off, but she still maintains her composure and stays with her. Really nice lead run and really nice chase run. I would have to give her an advantage, as he's throwing on a lot of angle nearly to throw off. I don't know how they did not collide here. So she put on a really good speed as well in her chase run. So if she goes for this, she could win. But she needs to carry the speed she had in the chase run. So she was 6 kilometers faster in chase run. Usually it's the lead car that's faster. So let's see how this goes. Yeah, see how fast the car is. She's going for it. Whoa!
Oh,
Big smash. And you wouldn't mind she had that. That's such a shame. It was all the BMW's fault. Two expensive cars in the wall. She had a lot of speed. He carried way too much speed. I'd like to see that was hard hit too. And then, oh, wrecked such a clean car. She's really hard hit. What happened is she carried a lot of speed. She carried a lot of speed, and he couldn't maintain the grip shoes. I'd like to see the entry speeds. Hard hit in S15 too.
But it's quite safety because if it will be just
Oh, if it was the wall, both cars would be in the bin now. Look, she had so much speed. I wish you could see the entry speed. She was going around the corner. The BMW carried too much speed. What a big mess.
Oh, it's something wrong with somebody.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's just
Thing is,
emergency comes to. I hope.
see, the problem is she's on right-hand drive. Maybe he's left-hand drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something wrong with her. She's shaking. Jeez, look at the back of the S15, it's destroyed.
I hope she's okay.
Hero is thinking, oh, we're going to wrap up the final battles nice and easy, nice and fast. Yeah, that S15 is destroyed. The back of it is like torn off.
So 2 years ago, Catherine's car was on fire
Yeah?
here in
Yeah.
Atron, so maybe it's just not her track.
But the crazy thing, it was not her fault. She was...
Yeah, but it's
yeah.
like bedrock, you know.
Yeah. The back left wheel of that car is torn off. Yeah, I'd say the recovery guys don't even know what way to openly lift these cars. Like, it's such a big mess.
No information.
And we have one more times after this as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, 20 past to 5.
Our judges.
Looks like they're cold.
It's very windy upstairs.
Okay, here comes the blower. Okay, just to recap, we're just about to wrap up the top 32. We got one more times. Nikita Shikov and Stefan Azarov, they're going to do battle. And then we have Nagula and Denis Mihal. So they are two top 16 one more time, or top 32 one more times we need to do. So yeah, luckily both cars have all the safety roll cages. See the guys handling the hands, device and helmet, making sure all their safety is in place. Yeah, quite the mess, both these cars.
It's very hard.
Зрители, вы слышали? Шли назад, сами для вас.
Спасибо, зрители. А кому мог бы ответить, как всего программы, кто больше всего нравится, чей стиль ему интересен, симпатичен?
Отлично, давайте поблагодарим пилота команды Fresh Auto Дизайн Кимино. Аригато.
Right, folks, we're just waiting for the cleanup here. We had just had a big shunt here between Grigoriev and Ekaterina. Ekaterina entered it with a lot of speed, and Grigoriev tried to attack at the same speed, went straight into the back of the S15, put both cars in the wall, and destroyed both cars. It's a really big crash. You can see now in the S15 the second, waiting for it to be pulled out how much damage there is. You can see the whole front of the BMW has been torn off. So yeah, really bad damage to both cars. It was a shame because Ekaterina had a really good chase run, and she's about to do a really good lead run. So really unfortunate. So yeah, just after this battle, we have one more times to run after this. We should be done by 8 o'clock. What time does it get dark in Russia?
What?
What time does it get dark here?
In 1 hour. So
1
we
hour,
have
yeah.
1 hour. Or
That's what I was surprised of. When I got off the plane at 4 a.m. this morning, it was completely bright.
yeah, in St. Petersburg, it's
Bright really early.
yes.
Yeah, it was completely bright. And I was completely asleep. So yeah, let's see the S15 now. So yeah, just going back to our timetable tomorrow. Top 16 kicks off at 2:30 local time, and then we have top 8 at 5 p.m. local time. So tomorrow, practice in the morning, top 16, top 8. So hopefully should be nice, snappy action. And that was such a clean S15. Like, it was like...
No, it looks too sad.
And if she can get the car fixed, which she might be able to get the car fixed, she's through to the top 16 tomorrow, and she deserves that. So yeah, let's see if they can fix the car overnight. Probably can. I wouldn't doubt anyone after fixing. Oh, she's walking around now fairly easy. Yeah, see the first run, she attacked really well, really good proximity, probably the best chase run of the day. Really close through here, because it's a high risk zone, so the judges will probably award her quite good good points for proximity in a high risk area. Transfers back to the infield. They both run the wide qualifying line. Transfer back. He pulls on a lot of angle here and slows up very much. She could have collided with him, but she altered the car and avoided collision. So really good driving. He had a really nice entry as well.
Как скрылась в пелене дыма за двигателей.
So yeah, you can see the full rear of that car is torn off, the rear wheel, suspension. It's not looking pretty.
I hope she can do something with that. Have you ever had such crashes in maybe
In Europe, yeah,
Masters
there's
or-
been pretty bad crashes in Europe. A lot of bad crashes. But it was kind of really bad. He entered way too much speed, and he shouldn't. He should have matched her speed because she was really fast too. And I think he just entered a bit faster, thinking he could do that. He lost grip, went straight into her. Because if she wasn't there, he would have went into this wall a huge amount of speed. Would have been really bad. So yeah, after that delay, hopefully we'll be getting the track action back on soon. Just seeing, are the rest of the cars ready? Nikita Shikov and Stefan Azarov and Dmitry Nagula. And Dmitry Nagula is ready, and Denis Mihal. Both those cars are ready.
Oh no, it's one more time with Evgeny Rozhenikov and Sergey.
Alright, yeah. Uzhenikov and Sergei Sak as well, yeah. So Sergey Sak, a Belarus champion, is gonna lead off against Evgeny Ruzhenikov now. Ruzhenikov, not sure if there's a problem with his car. One Belarus champion, one two-time Russian drift champion. And Sergey's actually in the wrong lane.
Go back.
I was wondering what's the problem now.
Nobody knows. Just here Nikolai says the same.
Looks like he's out of the car. Evgeny Ruzhenikov, yeah, must be something wrong, because he's not even in the car anymore. So Sergey Sak looks like he's a by run out to the top 16. Nice steady run out, just get him through to the top 16. And yeah, we just have the final one, Dmitry Nagula and Denis Mihal. Nagula's lights are on, so he's ready to go. And now Evgeny Ruzhenikov is ready. So do you know what's going on?
So I think it's first try. No.
Sergey Sak has pulled back to the start line, so
Yes, he's just waiting for Evgeny. So let's see one more time. Evgeny and Sergey.
Yeah, Evgeny is to lead because he's the highest qualifier, and Sergey Sak is to chase. So this is actually the first run. Both drivers ready to go. Lights go. 1, 2, 3. Green. Let's go. Evgeny Ryazan to lead off in the S15, and it's going to be a restart. Not without drama. And he hit 2 cones, remember in qualifying? And he hit
Yes, it's even the
yeah, so he's hit the cones a lot today. Yeah, so a host of good battles lined up tomorrow. Glavnia will face off against Stefan Azarov in the first battle. Evgeny Losev will go against Pesagov. Arkady Terry-Gratz will go against the winner of this battle. Charles Ng will go against Gocha Shushan. So the first few battles on top 16 are going to be really good ones. Damer will go against Hibino. Fedor will go against Fedor Vorobov. In Saito will go against Fedor Ilya. And then the next Fedorov. Oh no.
Ilya.
Yeah, Fedor Ilya will go against the Ekaterina if she gets the car finished. So yeah, we're waiting for Dmitry Nagula and Denis Mihal, the winner of that battle.
And once again,
This battle is going on a long time. Please.
Sergey just didn't understand
What was going on?
Yeah.
He must be wondering because I've done a warm-up run, I've done a red start run. It's like I'd like to go drifting today. Okay, third time lucky. Let's go. Let's go green. No cones hit this time. Evgeny Ryazan to lead off. Nice early entry by both drivers. Sergey Sak lacking a bit of proximity. Ryazan putting down a nice lead run. Sergey Sak trying to dive in. Whoa, nearly collides. Ryazan is putting foot to floor now. Gets a fourth outside zone. Gets out to the touch and go. Sergey Sak trying to attack, but it's a little too late. Ryazan builds up a 2-car lead. So nice. He maintained proximity over the whole run. Ryazan in the lead run got all the outside zones quite well. Sergey Sak tried to dive in here, but no point diving if you can't maintain it, and he lost all the gap immediately. He tries to dive in here, kind of cutting the course a small bit, and yeah. Good lead run. Could be a better chase run. He left too much of a gap from entry. He should be at this level. He should be a lot closer. And yeah, Sergey Sak has maybe be at a slight disadvantage. So he really needs to put down a really good lead run. And this is exactly how it happened in the first top 32 battle. So I expect Sergey to put down a really good lead run battle now. So this is for one of the final places in the top 16. No cones hit, thankfully. Here we go, Sergey Sak to lead in. Nice early initiation. They both initiate first outside zone quite well. Both missed the second outside zone now. Evgeny Ruzhenikov trying to dive in here. Nice dive. Now, can he maintain the proximity here? Nice. Can he dive in towards the last corner now? He's a bit close from Sergei Sak, so a bit more of attack from corner 2 to the last corner. Nice initiation from Sergei Sak, but here both drivers missed the outside line, so this is very much Sergei Sak's fault, not going deep on the outside zone and not going on the qualifying line that the judges wanted. Evgeny Ruzhenikov dives in here. Nice dive. Maintains the proximity. He doesn't lose the proximity like Sergei Sak did. And really nice lead run. But Evgeny Ruzhenikov is still there, and then he dives in, tries to dive in the door. He could have been a bit closer, but overall he is a good bit closer than Sergei Sak's chase run. Again, Sergei Sak could have been a bit deeper here in the lead line, so he will get punished quite a bit for that. But what's really impressive is from here, Evgeny Ruzhenikov transitions and dives in. So our next two drivers are warming up for the next battle. So let's see what the judges got to say about this one. It's close, and here we go. And Roman's having a word with the two guys.
Мы сейчас в эфире находимся, и у меня здесь в зоне интервью Евгений Ружеников, который поехал с нашим
What's he asking?
They're waiting for Sergey. He had few mistakes last run. It was not bad, but he trying to get closer to Sergey in the second run. Evgeny asked Sergey before start to make a flip
A flip.
on initiation.
Oh, I see, yeah.
So it's too hard for guys because it's the first time here, and the judges changed.
The criteria.
Yeah, so it was pretty hard for all pilots. He is very glad for the run. He told that his car is very weight a lot, so it's
Very heavy.
very heavy. Yeah, most heavy car here.
Ну что ж, дружба народов, вот она здесь, Россия, Беларусь, Евгений Ружеников и Сергей Сак. Николай, телефон.
Heaviest. Do we have results?
We're just going to wait for the results now.
So
It should be revealed just before this run goes live. Judges are deliberating it. It's probably close enough, like. For me, I would give it to Evgeny Ruzhenikov, but we'll see.
why?
Sergei Sak didn't get the proper qualifying line in the first corner. He didn't get the outside zone, and Ruzhenikov attacked from corner 2 to the final, and he was closer. Sergei Sak tried to attack, but he lost proximity, and he couldn't attack or had as close proximity as the second battle. So they both had good lead run, and again the lead run was better by Evgeny Ruzhenikov. So we gotta see where it's gonna go. Yeah, really nice entry. But yeah, the judges are looking at this one. They really need to run a qualifying line here, and Sergey Sak could have been a bit deeper. He just way out. He should have been in that outside zone. Transitions in here, so Evgeny Ruzhenikov transitions really nice time, and they both get inside this outside zone 3, which Sergey Sak did not do. They transition really nice here, and they both get to the, well, Ruzhenikov didn't get to outside zone here. Again, really nice chase run. Transitions could be a bit closer. They're looking at this a lot. And he is a lot closer than when Sak was chasing Ruzhenikov. So see the lead run from Ruzhenikov. Sergey Sak is not as close. See, there's a gap there. They both went into the outside zone 2. They both went into outside zone 3. Sergey Sak didn't. He attacked here, but here the gap builds huge. Like, Ruzhenikov really pulls ahead. There's a big gap there. Sergey Sak is nowhere to be seen, whereas Ruzhenikov was diving in here. And see, Ruzhenikov pulls away here as well. So it's pretty close.
We'll see one more time.
Yeah, I think that's probably what the judges are calling too, because they probably don't want to call it too. It is pretty close. The S15 has it slightly. He's cleaner over the 2 runs. Oh, it's split. What's Mantis gonna say? One more time. Oh,
I told you.
I knew it was close. It was probably the safest call, to be fair, to do. Like, it is very close. Dmitry Negula in the white and blue S13 to lead in now on the left. Lights go green. Denis Mihal to chase in the BMW. So Belarus versus Russia again. Whoa, Denis Mihal goes way offline. Negula goes super wide. Denis Negula doing a really nice lead run, and Denis Mihal struggling to keep up, but Denis Mihal trying to reel him in now over the last 2 corners. Negula does a super wide line, and Denis Mihal running super shallow line. And again, I just didn't know. Well, I forgot. Not that I didn't notice. It's Belarus versus Russia again. Both of them, yeah. So Dmitry Negula runs a wide line. Denis Mihal wasn't that wide. Negula transfers quite well. Gets outside zone, nice. Denis Mihal not to be seen. Dmitry Negula doing a really nice run. Denis Mihal struggling. So yeah, nice lead run. Mistakes from the chase driver. Denis Mihal not being out, not going to the outside zone 2. So yeah, let's hope this is a clean battle.
is your favorite car for this race?
The Lada is always quite cool. Kristaps HEK car is quite cool. Saito's car sounds insane.
Sounds.
Yeah. I don't really like Lexus's that much, but it sounds cool. There's a lot of nice cars. Gotch's S15 is really nice, but it's got an SR20, the wrong engine inside it. So Arcadius R34 is really nice. There's a lot of really nice cars. Alright, Dennis Mihal in the BMW, fresh auto BMW E46 to lead off now. Really nice entry, lots of angle, really puts it down, runs a super wide line. Dimitri Nagula has no real answer. Dennis Mihal pulling quite a good gap. Nice transition. Runs wide. Dimitri Nagula struggling to keep up, but he gets him in last corner. So you can see the leader was about 10 kilometers faster than the chase driver. So Dennis Mihal, nice entry, lots of angle, really committed. You can see him wavering at the front wheels a bit. I thought it was going to go wrong. Dimitri Nagula checks up, nearly went too wide as well. Dennis Mihal doing a perfect lead line, drops it into outside zone 3 really well. Dimitri Nagula trying to check up and chase him. Dennis Mihal going super wide into outside zone 4, really nice. Nagula trying to chase him up. They both hit the touch and go real nice. Real nice run from both drivers. Dennis Mihal probably has a nicer overall run. But yeah, this could even go one more time again too. Yeah, similar mistakes, although the E46 is making a lot of mistakes here. Is a mistake on entry, missed the second outside zone, misses the third outside zone, washes out here, tries to catch up in Dimitri Nagula. Okay, they're playing it. Seeing who had the poor chase run, because they both had really good lead runs. See, Dennis Mihal entered way too early here. He's lucky not to drive over the white lines. I think he drops one wheel, but he's super shallow. He's not deep enough into outside zone 2. So he misses 3 outside zones, so let's see how that affects. Whereas Dimitri Nagula did not miss any outside zones. He misses outside zone 4. So he misses the touch and go, nearly straightens up here, runs super shallow. And as chase runs go, Dimitri Nagula has a better chase run, so I would nearly give it to Dimitri Nagula. Dimitri Nagula had less mistakes over his run. A nation awaits. Belarus versus Russia.
Russia and Belarus.
There we go. Oh. No. Another one more time. I think we won't be having dinner tonight. How things are going? What time is it? Oh, it's 8 o'clock.
But we can have only 2 one-more times, so I hope.
Yeah, well, the next one more time is the final one.
Yeah.
I would hope so. And it's crazy how these both won. Oh, yeah. It's the last one more time. And it's funny how it's Belarus versus Russia, and they both have one more times as well. Jeez.
So we are waiting for second run. Second, sorry, one more time.
Рядом со мной Евгений Ружейников. Жень, это будет какой по счету? Опять one-more time.
Мы просто сегодня считали, какое количество трек-тайма у нас получается в этот день. У меня получилось, соответственно, 2 проезда тренировки, 2 на квалификации и 2 суммарно где-то 4,5 минуты. Ну, вот поэтому мы с Серегой договорились, что будем делать все, чтобы полностью занять вашу категорию.
Спасибо, конечно же. Вопрос следующий. Что случилось у тебя перед стартом?
У меня второй этап проблемы с мотором, какая-то проблема с дросселем, то есть он не хочет нормально работать, электрод.
Женя told that he had a problem with the engine. The same problem was on the first stage, and here the same. So.
Вот, и в заезде то же самое, проскакивает, иногда на педаль газа не реагирует. Ну, это, в общем, мелочь.
Сергей, сам удобный соперник?
Серега очень хороший пилот, а все очень хорошие пилоты, хорошие соперники. Но, наверное, на этом вот сейчас конкретно не очень удобный, потому что мы с ним немножко в рассинхроне находимся по поводу постановки, то есть у него там вот этот вот манжа его размашистая, и здесь из-за того, что ты едешь слева, и надо сделать так, чтобы он не въехал в свои задницы в свое лицо. Соответственно, а дальше из-за этого как раз первая дуга у нас совершенно по-разному едет. То есть он это делает, чтобы долететь, я долетаю по-другому. У нас разное давление, как мне кажется, в колесах, разные ставки. Нам все это зависает в тех
Evgeny told that it's not very comfortable
пока не очень удобно, из-за этого, видимо, такое большое
to
количество
run with
когда он зависает
Sergey.
в угле, мне приходится что-то делать, потому что
They have a different style, so it's quite difficult.
такой человек, соответственно, меня штрафует. Но, наверное, он правильно делает, это его право как судьи.
Спасибо. Рядом со мной был только что Евгений Ружейников. Друзья, оставайтесь с нами, оставайтесь позитива и дрифтова.
Okay, we're just looking for the reruns of the T one more times. They're still outstanding. Belarus and Russia. Dmitry Nagula and Denis Mihal, so who's in picture. Not sure why these guys are not changing tires, but they must be all ready to rock. And Evgeny Rezhenikov in the Nissan S15, Gorilla Energy tires is against Sergei Sak in the G Energy BMW E46. So quite the long top 32 battles. I thought things were actually quite smooth till we had 2 or more times. At least spectators getting their money's worth, getting lots of battles to watch. And do you not have any certain times the tracks must close in Russia, or can they run till it gets dark?
We have half an hour. Maybe some
So they're probably waiting for Sergei Sak and Dmitry or Evgeny Ryazhenikov. Okay, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, Ryazhenikov doesn't hit a cone this time. Hopefully, his car actually turns up to the start line on time. Black Monster, top 32, one more time. Second one more time of this battle. Belarus versus Russia. Nissan S15 versus a BMW. V8 versus 2JZ. So here we go. Evgeny Ryazhenikov in the left in the grey S15 leads off against Sergei Sak in the BMW. Nice early entry. Foot to floor. S15 running the wide line. Sergei Sak trying to stay close to him this time. Nicer attack. Really pushing close now. This is a super... Oh, Sergei Sak, is he thrown off now? Still maintaining the proximity. Really nice. Gets back up on his door. Oh, does he straighten all across the line? That's really good, but he made a bobble after turn 2. Evgeny Ryazhenikov does a really nice entry here. Sergei Sak could be closer. Foot to floor. Sergei Sak drops the wheel. S15 lead car gets a good outside line. Transitions. Gets to the second outside zone. Sergei Sak dives in here. Little less angle. Near avoids collision. Pushes back on him from here on in. Surprisingly dives back in here, misses the touch and go, but really nice good proximity. He straightens a bit, but it's over the finish line, so he shouldn't get penalised too much. Hard one to say which way you'd throw this. Evgeny Ryazhenikov having a really good lead line, but Sergei Sak was attacking from here. Not so sure how he avoids contact from here. Evgeny Ryazhenikov really needs to do something special to keep this this battle alive. Lights go green. Sergei Sak to lead off. How is this one going to go? Belarus leads off against Russia. Nice flick, early entry. Evgeny Ryazhenikov is there this time. He's very close. Evgeny Ryazhenikov diving in. Nicer chase run. A lot more smoother than Sergei Sak. Oh, can't even see through the smoke. Really nice chase run. That's super close as well. Sergei Sak, I can see now what he means. That Sergei Sak's flick is throwing off because he doesn't know where to position his entry, where he does a straight initiation. Still, he still was pretty much on his own. Sergei Sak dropped the wheel here. He did not go as deep as Evgeny Ryazhenikov. Sergei Sak ran wide. S15 stayed there, and then from here on in, he did a nice attack. So Ryazan gets it. Yeah, really nice chase run on it. I would agree with that.
I will.
Finally, we have a result. Finally.
I'd like to see one more time.
No, and we're done. Russia beats Belarus.
We are at home. So.
But can Belarus win back in this battle? So yeah, one more battle to finish off the top 32 battles.
Guys are ready.
Nagula to lead in this time, a lot of speed. Whoa, Dennis Mihal. 122 km/h entry speed. Dennis Mihal cutting the track, not the greatest of chase runs. Whoa, big bobble here now. Doesn't get the outside zone, and again cutting through and missing the outside zones. So he will get penalised a lot for that. So Dmitry Nagula, nice straight entry. Dennis Mihal initiates, but he's middle of the track, like way offline. Nagula doing a proper lead run. Dennis Mihal trying to dive, but he's cutting off and like basically missing a lot of the qualifying line. Dmitry Nagula using a lot of angle. Doing a really nice qualifying line. Dennis Mihal then transitions way too early, nearly passes out the lead driver, and here has to check up and yeah, nearly straightens. So all Dmitry Nagula needs to do is keep it together. So going to go to Roman in the pits.
So much for spectators. It was cool. And he says thank you for Sergey for a good run. They were really pretty good, both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, he will tomorrow in top 16 with Arkady Telegratsov. I think it will be.
Yeah, Ryazan would against that. Geez, really good battle. Lights go green. Hopefully the last battle of the day. Dennis Mihal to lead in. Dmitry Nagula just needs to keep this together. Ooh, really nice entry from Dennis Mihal again. Really nice lead run from whoa, Dmitry Nagula makes it, doesn't make a straighten, but he makes a bit of a mistake. Gets back on Dennis Mihal's door. Oh, Dennis Mihal a really good lead run as well. He does. He's probably doing one of the best entries besides Gocha. Has a lot of angle. Puts on the power here. Runs wide out to the ball. And back on the power. So Dimitri Nagula tries to dive in here. He does a really good job. The boat going the outside line. And then he kind of has to step back because he sees the transition from Dennis Mihal. Nearly has to straighten up. He still continues to drift, but saying that, Dennis Mihal had similar mistakes chasing as well. And Dimitri Nagula gets back on his door from here on out. So yeah.
Waiting for results.
Yeah, judges are going to look at all these because now it's a tricky decision. Dimitri Nagula had a heavy advantage on the first run. And yeah, it's just from here on in. Nagula was quite good, and then he had a mini straighten up just after here. So Nagula was really nice through here. His only mistake was from here on in. He avoids contact here quite nice. And he still continues to drift. He just loses a lot of proximity. But then somehow gets the momentum and manages to gain that back and dive in Dennis Mihal's door over the last corner. So Nagula has the advantage in the first run. It depends how much the judges punish him on his small mistake on the second run. But overall, I would say Dimitri Nagula would take the win. But I'm wrong. So that mistake probably on the second run, so Dennis Mihal takes the win. He was a really good lead run. So he probably had the best lead run out of the two. And a mistake. So that wraps it up for today. That wraps up our top 32 battles. Tomorrow we will have practice from 10:30 to 12. That will not be televised. So just going through the battles tomorrow. Golovnia versus Stefan Azarov. Losev against Pesagov. Arkadius against Evgeny Ruzhanov. Charles Ng against Georgi Chevchan. Damer against Tetsu Hubino. Fedor against Fedor Vorobov in the Lada. Dagosaito against Dennis Mihal, which we just seen. That'll be a really good battle. Ilya Fedorov against Ekaterina. So every battle in top 16 is really good. So it should be really nice. So tomorrow top 16 starts from 4:30 or 2:30 local time. So if you're in Europe, 2 hours behind. And then top 8 starts from 5 p.m. local time. Again, Central European time is 2 hours, 1 hour behind. And then Western Europe, UK, Ireland is 2 hours behind time. Okay, thanks everyone for tuning in. And yeah, catch you tomorrow for top 16.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.